Alright, Alters by Chronos is back. Some of you guys were asking me to take out some of the test cards and put the original deck back and kind of change some of the cards around without the proxy. So I was able to do that except for like 3 or 4 because my dual lands are in my other decks and my one other card is in the other deck. But otherwise I changed everything around to be real and take out all the test cards and put back the original deck. Wasn't 100% sure how into this you guys were going to be. So it seems to be like you guys are having some fun here. So I'm going to show you what the deck truly looks like and explain it a little different for you and go a little slower for you. So we know that Rubinia Soulsinger. Wish I had a black bordered one, but I do not. But these are very inexpensive to grab. But she is a gain control of target creature. Anything pretty much on the board that's not protection from her or have hexproof or something like that. But either way, you're going to take control just by everything on the board and play other people's decks for them, basically. So I'm going to take all those fancy commanders that I cannot play and all those fancy creatures, and I'm going to abuse them. So I'm going to go over the lands. We obviously have a City of Brass. I have a strip mine for anything that I need to get rid of land-wise. That's a problem child. Factory, just because Mishra's Factory is an old school staple and I just had to have it. These are the 3 dual lands, the Tundra, Tropical Island, Savannah. Those are all in my other deck, so I can't do much about it. I switched out a lot of the lands like you guys asked, so here's the plains, altered by my buddy Will. A lot of these are my kids, or some are still basic, waiting for her to finish them. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plains. We're going to islands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to forests. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, that's your lands. Now we're going to get into what I call ramp cards. Land tax, elf, bird, stone, untamed wilds, soul ring. There's my ramp. Very few actual creatures in here. Sarah Angel, just because, well, it's Sarah Angel. Abu Jafar, just because anything it touches, when Abu dies, it's dead. So it's pretty deadly. Here's one of my main win conditions. Primal Order. It's a Homelands card. Nobody knows what it does until they kill them all. During each player's upkeep, deals 1 damage to that player for each non-basic land he or she controls. Yeah, you want to end a game quick in a big commander table? That's the way to do it. Alright, so here's a card that is pretty much a must-have for me. So the Druid. Druid is old school. It is a 1/1 for 3 mana. So, hey, what does this guy do? You're going to want to look him up. But basically deals 4 damage to any opponent casting an instant. That does not apply to the first. So it punishes some people, but it also ends the game for the guys who need to have Storm. Every time you do it. The second, the third, the fourth, it's 4 damage every single time. So that's my way of stopping those decks. This is a way for me to protect stuff. All enchantments and target creature are destroyed. Target creature cannot be further targeted by instant sorceries or enchantments. Yes, basically my Swiftfoot boots. Here's a card I put back in called Witch Hunter. Does 1 damage to target player. Well, that's nothing, right? But for 3 mana, return target creature an opponent controls to their hand. Yeah, you don't have your commander. Or your giant tokens you create. Yeah, they don't exist anymore. Preacher. I'll take 1 of your creatures, please. And you might think, oh, that's a token, blah, blah, blah. No, most of the time, they don't have those things. So I take whatever card I want. Control magic. Doppelganger. Another one of my clone my own creatures that take more of your stuff or copy something else. Old Man of the Sea. I know he's a weaker guy, but he definitely takes over some things. He's worth having. Soulsinger. That's the one that anybody who controls blue, I will take your creature. Finding Grasp. Basically another gain control of target creature card from Ice Age. Not the best, but it definitely works. Clone. Know you guys are familiar with that. Giant oyster, sucked to the bottom of the ocean, sit him in a clam for life, let him die out. Copy Artifact is kind of a global thing here, so I'm going to put that right there because I'll explain to you what the other side of this is. This is another way for me to take any creature from a graveyard, so those guys who love to put their big guys in their graveyard, I will definitely take them. This is something I will steal one of your commanders and sack your commander so I can go get something I want. Now we're going to get into counterspells. Remove Soul. Spell Blast. Power Sink. Mana Drain. Counterspell. Flash Counter. Very useful in here, by the way. This is kind of where we get into having a little bit of fun. So we're going to do that last. 2 tomes. This is the 3 mana, pay 2, draw a card, discard a card. Gemini Tome. Sylvan Library. Brainstorm. Just simple draws. Brain Geyser. Mystic Remora. We're going to hit this package a little bit here. So Copy Artifact can be anything. But basically what it's meant for is really messing people's day up. So we have a fun little thing here I like to do called Lock. So if you look what I'm doing here, this is kind of a problem child for people. So Meek Stone. Nothing greater than 2, maybe untapped. Yes, I do have regular Icy Manipulators, but when I was a kid, I always loved this art. It was one of my favorite from Ice Age. So I'm not playing my normal unlimited one here. I'm playing my Ice Age one because I love that one the most. Howling Mine and Winter Orb, when they're turned off, they shut off. So basically all I need is one of these guys and a copy if I happen to get both of these out. And I can literally untap all my stuff, draw additional cards, whatever I want to do. Alright, so keep that in mind. Another thing to do is punish people when they play lands. You want to have somebody with fetch lands? Yeah, that's going to kill them real fast. Alright, so destruction type. You have Scavenger Folk, which destroys an artifact. Divine Offering, Sword of Plowshare, Wrath of God, Crumbles, artifacts. Dust to Dust, remove artifacts from the game. Amnesia is in this group because it takes your entire opponent's hand. They have to reveal it to you. I look at their hand. So basically, I take their hand, I look at it. I keep lands, and everything else goes in a graveyard. So yeah, your giant... You alright, Pat? Allergies. Sorry, guys. Little guy's okay. He's just got allergies. We're staying inside today. Amnesia. So basically, take your entire opponent's hand. Any non-land card gets thrown in graveyard. So those big decks that are running those giant dinosaurs and all those kind of things, or they're having a handful of decks because they don't have a discard, well, they're not safe. The whole hand goes. It's not a Mind Twist where I got to pay a bunch of mana. It's 3 blue and 3 colorless, and your entire hand. If you have your whole deck in your hand, you just discarded your whole deck. So yeah, that's a very powerful card. Disenchant. Now we're going to get into control aspects. Maze of Ith. Remember that Howling Mine and those extra draw engines? Well, I have a choice of Island Sanctuary. You don't have to have it, but I may decline my draw. So if I have Howling Mine out, or I have a Tome out, or I'm going to draw a card anyway, I can decline to draw during my step, and no creatures except for Island Walk and Flying can even attack me. So that's a win for me because typically I'll take all the creatures that have flying and I'll just hit you guys with them and sit back and draw nothing. Just kill your own creatures. I don't have to draw much. Moat does the same thing. Coffin's a way to protect myself or make your commander disappear every turn. Force Field. That's a way for me to lose only 1 life. So if you think those big bad scary creatures are getting through, no, I'm just losing 1 life. Here's another Homelands card. All creatures lose flying and island walk. You see the pattern here? Aboria, if I don't cast a spell, I don't have a combat, so you can't declare an attack on me. Time Elemental. Ways to return your commanders, protect my stuff, whichever. Pit Trap. A little Ice Age card. It's a lot more powerful than people think. For 2 mana, I could sacrifice it and bury anything without flying. Safe Haven. Another way for me to make your commanders go away. Or keep my own stuff safe and sack it. Makes no difference, but I can keep piling cards under here and under here and under here. Yeah, they don't go in the graveyard. So if somebody has cards that have problems, I take them and I shove them under here, and I just never sacrifice it. I just leave them under there. But when a commander goes under here, are they really going to choose to keep their commander under here for the entire game? Or is it going to go back to command zone and cost 2 more? Recall, Regrowth, Felon's Cane. Those are ways for me to get my stuff back. Tormod's Crypt. That's a way for me to shut down any kind of recursions. Life Gain, Ivory Tower, Spirit Link, Diamond Valley. That's another way for me to sacrifice your commanders and creatures I take. And here's another card that does the same thing. It's a little more expensive, but storing my upkeep, I can sack. Now Diamond Valley and Life Chisel gain life. So on your end step, if I take, say, 2 creatures, your end step, I'm also sacrificing a Diamond Valley. I can sacrifice another one during my upkeep, and then another one again during Diamond Valley. So basically, if I have 3 control aspects, which I usually always have, I can take 3 creatures a turn and sacrifice it between your end step and my upkeep for life. And that is a lot because it's toughness. So when you got those big, bad 20/20 whatever token creatures out there, that's just 20 free life for me. So that's basically what it looks like. I'll try and lay this out kind of for you guys real quick here. Try and lay them out into some of these groups here. And yeah, I do have a nicer force field, but this one just has a little bit of nostalgia. This one's important to me for multiple reasons. And yes, I know Mazavith is a land and it's in here because it's not an actual land that produces. So to me, it's just a little more about which is a card that produces mana, and which is a card that does not produce mana. Again, when I was talking about Island Sanctuary, these are also cards, and Sylvan Library does stack too. So how this works is if you have Sylvan Library and Island Sanctuary, and say you have to keep that online, Sylvan Library lets you sort the 2 cards. So you still look at them, you stack them the way you want them, and then basically you can filter. So if I have a land and a card I really care about, I'm going to put the land on top. Because with this card for 2 mana, I'm going to tap it, I'm going to draw that land, discard that land. So now I know exactly what I have. So I can filter out some of the bad stuff, and I can use Tome just to straight out draw. So there's a bunch of different ways to get around that Island Sanctuary. I'm not going to lay the mana out. I'm going to try and fit everything in here as best as I can for you guys. I do not have a list. It's a little more challenging for me to try and get a list. It's harder for me. Alright, so I'm going to pause that there for a quick second. I know you know what these cards are. So we're just going to lay some other ones right on the top here. Alright, so that's the deck. That is a very controlling, old school, very functional deck, and it answers just about everything I need to answer. And I have ways to get my stuff back. I have ways to answer graveyard recursion, storm, basically anything like the Trons. Those are your best friends. When somebody plays Captain America or something, that's your best friend, because I have so many different ways to get it. Preacher's a perfect example. If you're playing a Tron deck, how many creatures you typically have? One. Well, you got to give me your creature. So yeah, you're eventually going to unequip all your artifacts and stuff like that, but I got your commander. So if I get one of my sack outlets done, and your commander isn't one that has haste, chances are I'm going to sacrifice him so many times that you can't even have an upkeep. You might ask yourself, why Spirit Link? Spirit Link was in here basically to mess with people. So how Spirit Link works is all the commanders that do damage or the creatures that do damage. So when somebody messes around and they have one of those creatures out where, hey, every time I do this, I do 2 damage to an opponent, well, I'm going to gain that life. So you can do all you want. If it's to me, it's negated because it's 1 at a time. So even if it's Storm, it doesn't matter. It's 1 at a time. So it's not like I'm taking 100 damage and then dying. I'm taking 2 damage, gaining 2 life. 2 damage, gaining 2 life. Or if it's Lightning Bolt, 3 damage, gaining 3 life. 3 damage, gain. I don't actually change. I only negate 3. So if you were bolting me, if I was at 3 life, then yes, then I will die before I gain health. Otherwise, Spirit Link is going to gain me life. So your commanders that do 1 damage every time I draw a card or someone draws a card, cool. I'm going to gain a stupid amount of life. So yeah, Spirit Link is a little more powerful than you think. But my main win condition, truthfully, unexpectedly, is, believe it or not, Ankh actually does an insane amount of damage to commanders. In commander games, I mean. Because all those fetch lands, that's 3 life they're losing. They're paying 2 life to play. Actually, more than that. They're paying 2 life to play the fetch land. Losing a life to go. And putting another card in play for another 2 life. So it's 2 life to play the fetch, 1 life to cast the fetch, and 2 life to play the other land based on how it's worded. So basically, worst case scenario, they're losing at least 3 life depending on how it's worded. So it is a massive hit. Primal Order definitely ends games extremely fast, because if I have a moat or something down and I put this out, game's over. Like I said, storm counters, those kind of things, I'm not worried about them. The commanders that make me draw, that's what Spirit Link is for. So I'm going to put a link to this video in the old one and put a little comment in there. But I honestly I never did real commander stuff videos-wise before. I'm actually going to have 4-player commander games coming out soon. So you'll be able to watch me and some of the guys playing commander at home. I do not have the best setup in the world, so if anyone has any camera suggestions, please let me know. But I did do a test run yesterday with some of my friends, and they seem to have a lot of fun with it and definitely down for it. So we're going to record some matches, and we're going to let you guys watch some commander. I'm probably the only one that has an old school deck that's going to play, but I do have a Fallout deck also, which is complete Fallout, except for 1 card, because I'm not buying anything that's new Magic. Nothing against anybody, it's just not my thing. I played it for a while, like I might have said in the past, but I'm not a fan of winning on turn 0 to 3, or playing Solitaire. If I want to play Solitaire, that's what Solitaire is actually for. My little guy is saying hello right now. But I just wanted to say thanks to everybody. I'm glad you enjoyed the commander thing, and I'll have a lot more commander stuff coming for you guys. Thank you so much, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.